Welcome to the Dan Sports Tips MLB Daily Fantasy Preview Show for today, the 4th of August. I'll be taking a look at everything you need for your daily fantasy games on DraftKings. I'll be looking at starting pitchers, stacks of the day, how we can construct our lineup to maximise our point scoring potential, foundation players that should be used as a foundation to build upon for a successful lineup, and a value player at each position. For anyone that hasn't had an opportunity to sign up and play daily fantasy sports with DraftKings yet, I will put a link in the description to this video that will enable you to do that today. Obviously, we have a shortened slate today. It's not too short with 12 games. Looking at starting pitchers, though, there are some awful options today. The top one is J.A. Happ of the Toronto Blue Jays for 11,600. Now, when I was going through the stats today, I got very excited about Happ. Less so when I saw his price. I wasn't expecting him to be the most expensive option, but I hadn't really looked in depth to see that there were no true number ones today. I wasn't expecting him to be most expensive. I wasn't expecting him to be the only pitcher with a 5-figure price tag today, but it is justified. He had the highest strikeout rate in baseball last month. He gets a top 3 strikeout unit in Houston. Houston are the highest strikeouts on the field today as well, because Milwaukee and San Diego are not playing. He has won 8 straight decisions. He's 14-3 with a 3.16 ERA this season, with 111 strikeouts in 131 innings pitched. The only negative is obviously the park, but Happ is, for me, the clear number one play pitcher today. The next selection says everything. Ian Kennedy of the Kansas City Royals for 8,900. The fact I'm suggesting Kennedy shows that pitching is tough today. He is, after all, a flyball pitcher who's allowed 26 home runs this year. The good news is Tropicana Field should negate that power a little bit. Kennedy faces a Rays lineup that does strike out a lot, and he himself is worth over 1 per inning with 123 punch-outs in 121 and 1/3 this year. The 7-inning, 1-run game against Texas last time is enough to earn a chance with me today. I wouldn't be surprised if we come to regret Ian Kennedy, though. He did allow only 1 earned run in 6 innings, his only start against Tampa this year, so there is some positive history for Ian Kennedy as well. The other pitcher I want to look at today is Ariel Miranda of the Seattle Mariners for $4,000. I'm not just including $4,000 pitchers, I promise. At the end of the day, I will go down with the ship that Boston can't hit lefties. Not that they've been hitting much of anything at all lately after Iwakuma shut them down yesterday as well. Acquired in the trade for Wade Miley with Baltimore, there isn't really a lot to say about Miranda. He allowed 3 earned runs in 2 innings, actually in this ballpark against Seattle a month ago with 4 strikeouts. The Cuban import does have relatively solid strikeout numbers in the minor leagues. The main upside, as I say, is that he's a left-handed pitcher taking on Boston, who have been shut down by lefties 4 consecutive times now, and then obviously, as I say, Iwakuma, the righty, shut them down as well yesterday. Looking at stacks of the day today, obviously it is a Coors Field day again. I did expect to be stacking Rockies in all honesty, but then I took a look at what Kenta Maeda has done in 2 starts against Colorado, and he has absolutely shut them down. Both times he's faced them this year. He's allowed a single run against Colorado in 13 innings. That includes a shutout performance of 6 1/3 innings at Coors Field. And to be honest, that's really put me off getting involved with the Rockies. I like Chatwood as a pitcher. Despite him being a ground ball pitcher, he is obviously vastly better on the road. His ERA at Coors is over 5, so I would rather stack Dodgers if I was going to stack, but I think what I'm probably going to do is just have exposure to a couple of key players in their lineup and maybe stack elsewhere. The Texas Rangers are facing Wade Miley today at Camden Yards. That is already a good starting point. A lineup that can hit lefty pitching fairly well, added another hitter at the deadline that does go well against lefties, making the stack even stronger. Outfielder Ian Desmond for 4,600 has a home run off of Miley. He's hitting .298, 20 home runs and 17 stolen bases. Catcher Jonathan LaCroix for 4,800. He's got a home run off of Wade Miley as well. .297 with 13 homers this year. Ryan Rua, who qualifies at first and in the outfield, is 3,600. He's very good against lefties. .273 hitter with 7 home runs. Third baseman Adrian Beltre for 4,300. He has a home run off of Miley. He's hitting .276 with 16 homers on the year. And shortstop Elvis Andrus is also surprisingly good against lefty pitching. He's 3,300 today. He's hitting .292 on the year, 4 homers and 13 stolen bases. The other stack I'm looking at that interests me is the Cincinnati Reds. Now, obviously, The park is really good, Great American Ballpark. Conditions look advantageous for hitters today as well in the weather forecast. Mike Leake has allowed 6 runs in his last 2 starts. He also allowed 6 on his only prior appearance against the Reds this year in June at this ballpark. I'll take outfielder Adam Duvall for 4,700. He's a 250 hitter with 26 home runs this year. He's got 2 home runs off of Mike Leake. He's hitting .321 with 3 homers in the last 7 games. Outfielder Billy Hamilton for 4,700. The switch hitters hitting .248 with 3 home runs, 37 stolen bases. He also took Mike Leake deep earlier this year. First baseman Joey Votto for 5,200 is on the right side of the platoon. He's hitting .293 with 18 homers. In his last 7 games, 1 home run, but he's hitting for an average of .520. An outfielder Scott Schebler for 2,700 is also on the right side of the platoon. .219 hitter with 2 home runs in limited action this year. In his last 7 games, he's hitting .444 with a homer, and he's going to be the left fielder after the Jay Bruce trade by all accounts. For my foundation players today, my first baseman is Freddie Freeman of the Atlanta Braves for 4,900. He's on the right side of the platoon against Vogelsong, who he has 2 home runs against. He's hitting .280 with 18 homers this year. His last 7 games, he's got a home run and he's hitting for .393. Second baseman is Jose Altuve for 4,800. This is a really hard-looking position today for me. He's got a tough matchup against J.A. Happ, who is the top pitcher today. Altuve, however, does provide us with multiple ways to score runs, and therefore is a more secured cost, if you like. He's hitting .359, 19 homers, and 25 stolen bases this year, and is on the right side of the platoon. Third baseman Justin Turner of the Los Angeles Dodgers for 5,200, .276 with 19 homers on the year. He's on the reverse platoon. He hits righties very well. He's hitting at Coors Field. He's hitting .354 with 5 homers in his last 15 games, including a home run yesterday. Shortstop Corey Seager for the Los Angeles Dodgers for 5,500. He's on the right side of the platoon. It's at Coors Field. He's a .308 hitter with 18 home runs. For me, is probably a bigger power threat than Turner, even though Turner has hit more home runs than him this year. In the outfield, I'm going to stick with Stephen Piscotty as per yesterday. St. Louis Cardinals, 4,900. He showed us with the home run yesterday that he is great against lefties. The numbers bear that out, so we'll go again against Brandon Finnegan. It's a nice ballpark with good weather forecast conditions as well. He has a home run off of Finnegan. He's hitting .285 with 15 homers on the year. For my value plays, my catch is Cameron Rupp of the Philadelphia Phillies for 3,400. I'm hoping the fact that he's homered in back-to-back games will lead to a sustained period closer to the top of the lineup. He did hit clean-up recently. I'm also hoping he gets an extended run of playing time ahead of Carlos Ruiz. He is better hitting the ball than Ruiz at this stage. He's on the right side of the platoon, hitting .274 with 12 homers this year. My first baseman is Justin Morneau of the Chicago White Sox for 3,100. He has the platoon advantage against Jordan Zimmerman. You're never quite sure what you're going to get when a pitcher returns from the disabled list first time up, as Zimmerman does today. Morneau has 2 home runs in his last 7 games. He's hitting for a .260 average with 3 homers on the year. My second baseman is Jorge Polanco of the Cleveland Indians. He also qualifies at third for 3,800. The switch hitter is 8 for 21 since his call-up from the minor leagues. The most recent one anyway. He's hitting .298 with a homer for the season, and he has been hitting for extra bases in recent games. My third baseman is Jed Giorco of the St. Louis Cardinals for 3,800, who also qualifies at second. He's hitting .252 with 15 home runs. He's on the right side of the platoon against Finnegan and has 7 homers in his last 15 games. My shortstop is Tim Anderson of the Chicago White Sox for 3,500, .264, 5 homers, 4 steals this year. His batting average is below what I was expecting for him. He's hit .300 at every level. He hits at the top of the lineup and is cheap, so I'm expecting an uptick from him in hits at some point soon. And obviously when he gets on base, he can run as well. And in the outfield, I'll take Brandon Guyer of the Cleveland Indians for 3,900. Both Guyer and the pitcher in opposition today, Santiago, have moved at the deadline. Santiago had been pitching really well for the Angels with a .252 ERA across his last 9 starts. That being said, Guy has been really good against lefties this year when he was with the Rays, so I'm going to take him here. He's hitting .241 with 7 home runs on the season. Best of luck with your lineups today. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to like the video, hit me up in the comments with the daily fantasy plays you like today, and press that subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I will be here all MLB season and through the NFL season with daily fantasy sports advice. If you haven't signed up yet, or you're interested in starting to play daily fantasy sports, please click the link in the description for this video, and that'll take you where you need to go to start playing with DraftKings today. Best of luck with your lineups and have a great day.